Former United States Senator Jim Talent, now with the Bipartisan Policy Center. Follow him on X. Jim Talent's pretty easy to remember. Good morning, Senator. How are you?
I'm fine, you.
I have a question for you. I have watched great senators, John Kyle, John Cornyn, Marco Rubio. All of them walk over the edge of comprehensive immigration reform and fall. Is Jim Lankford going to make the same mistake?
Well, I have a lot of faith in Jim Lankford and in John Cornyn, so I would say no. On the other hand, I don't know anything more about it than Senator Kennedy did. I mean, when he came on your show, what was it, yesterday?
Yep.
And he said he didn't know anything about the negotiations. So, but yeah, I have a lot of faith in them, and they're in a strong position. I mean, forget about the merits of this for a second. This is a must-pass bill for the administration. The Ukraine piece of it is a very heavy lift for the Republicans. So the logic of this, the presidential congressional logic of this, is that Biden has to give them some of the high profile items they want for the border, I would think, beginning with the wall, if he wants his bill. And
thank you for saying
they're
that.
in a strong position.
Clarity, beginning with the wall. 800 miles of wall or double-sided, very tall, strong fencing. Israel wished it had two walls on 10-7, not one, but had one fence, not one wall, not two fences. Do you think that the Republicans will get that? And I mean built and finished before we do anything else. I think he froze. Jim, you froze. It's a great picture, but you froze. Oh, the bandwidth in St. Louis must be low today. Must be the fact that we can get back by phone, because what he said last night, Donald Trump wrote a Des Moines Register op-ed, and I put it up on my X account. Senator Talent, do you think they'll demand the wall?
Yeah, I think they have to. I mean, or they won't be able to pass the bill. And it's so clearly necessary. It always was, and it was very logical. You know, the irony of this is that government doesn't do many things well, but actually policing borders, it's like fighting crime or building roads. Those are things the government can do if you have even minimally competent people who decide they want to do it. Now, I mean, so yeah, I think the wall is the first and foremost thing they need to get.
Now, the border's 2,000 miles.
And by the way,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say what Biden ought to do is what Clinton used to do, which is in the 90s. We would force him to do things, and then he would turn around and claim credit for it, and then go out and campaign on it. And it happened all the time. Remember, it was welfare reform is a classic example of that.
1996, and then crime reform. Let's talk about the wall for a moment. The border is 2,000 miles long. We need a barrier, and I mean a wall or two fences, about 800 miles of it. It's got to be patrolled by a border patrol, and it's got to be strong. Can that get built we're the United States of America. Can't we build that in 6 months?
Yes, we can. Yes, well, now you're dealing with things like federal procurement. But the answer is yes, if there's enough energy in the executive branch to do it, which is a big question with the Biden administration across the board of all policies. I mean, they've been aimless where they haven't been insane in things like the Iranian negotiations. It's been aimless and lethargic by and large. But the answer is yes. And the wall isn't all we need to do. But the big thing about not only does the wall help stop a lot of the immigration by itself, but it's a signal. It will begin to turn off the demand signal. It's a signal to these people who are coming here that they're not just going to be able to get in. And the magnet has always been the huge problem. This is how the Trump administration reduced immigration. And
I've always said it's the invisible. I've always called it the visible expression of an invisible conviction that we will protect our sovereignty at the border. And it is a demand signal. And I know, all you need is a 12-foot ladder. All you need is a tunnel. That's nonsense. It stops 95%. It doesn't stop 100%. But we need the 95% stop so we can focus on the 5%.
Right. So I need to go back and listen to this on the pod and write that down because I'm going to use that sentence. But
that's a little scriptural. That's resonating from Scripture. I want to suggest to you another option. If they say we get the wall and as soon as it's finished, the Ukraine funding is released, notwithstanding under any other law. Do you think it'll get done quickly?
Yeah, that would get it done quicker, but I think you're going to have to. I don't see Biden agreeing to something that flat out. Probably you could probably give it in tranches, give pieces of it to make certain that he actually executes the law. But as I said, I mean, if I was sitting there, I would say to them, look, why don't you agree to this? And then it's just a PR problem. Figure out a way to begin building it and then claim credit for it. And of course, if you're going to claim credit for it, you got to build it. I mean,
I want to go back to what you said at the beginning. They have never had this much leverage. Never. And they got to use it. And if they come back with less than the wall, it's a fail and it will not pass. And so, Jim Talent, from your lips to the senator's ears. Thank you, my friend. Always good to talk to you. Have a great week and a great new year.